Between 1996 and 2000, Honda built a Civic so reliable that mechanics still will not let theirs go. It reached 250,000 miles with its original engine, no excuses. Then Honda quietly buried everything that made it work. Pop the hood on a 6th-generation Civic and you'll find a lesson in mechanical honesty. Honda's D16Y8 and B16A2 engines, those codes still mean something to the folks who keep these cars running, use port fuel injection, not direct injection. Each injector sits just upstream of the intake valve, spraying fuel right where the air enters. It's like giving the valves a toothbrush every time the engine fires. No carbon buildup, no sticky valves, just clean, even combustion. That's the secret behind Civics that crack 250,000 miles and keep on pulling. The single overhead Cam D series is simple. One cam, fewer moving parts, easy belt changes every 96,000 kilometers. The dual overhead Cam B series in the Psi is a little more complex, but still built for hands-on work. Both let you set valve lash with basic tools, no special computers, no proprietary software. Mechanics know these engines inside and out. They're not just easy to fix, they're eager to be fixed. And that injector placement, it's the one design choice that newer Civics never got back. The next generation would trade this simplicity for something that looks good on a government test, but leaves owners with a mess. Mileage logs don't lie. On the old Honda Tech forums, you'll find proud posts from owners who put 250,000 to 350,000 miles on their 6th-generation Civics, sometimes more, without ever pulling the head. One moderator, known as Boltmaster, kept a running tally. Oil changes every 5,000 miles, timing belt at 60,000, and not a single breakdown worth a tow. His 1998 Psi hit 311,000 miles before the first head gasket. Stories like his are not rare, they are the backbone of the Civic's legend. Parts catalogs from the era read like a menu for beginners and pros alike. Skunk 2, Spoon, AEM, Mugen, each brand offered bolt-ons that actually fit, at prices a teenager could afford. Need a new clutch? $150. Want to swap in a B16A2? The guides were sticky posts, not trade secrets. The 6th-generation Civic did not just survive. It created a movement. Owners became mechanics, mechanics became mentors, and the aftermarket exploded around them. That is the kind of car you keep forever. And deep down, every 6th-generation owner knows it. The numbers tell a story no owner wants to hear. In 2001, the Civic racked up 1,228 official complaints, more than any other year before or since. That is not just a noisy minority, that is a tidal wave. The NHTSA logged 27 recalls for the 7th generation alone, each one a red flag for buyers and mechanics alike. Transmission failures, electrical gremlins, and engine troubles filled the complaint databases. It was not just a few unlucky cars, it was a pattern. On the forums, moderators like Boltmaster started tracking the carnage, thread after thread about slipping gearboxes, sudden shutdowns, and repairs that cost more than the car was worth. Shops saw Civics towed in at 70,000 miles, sometimes less, waiting for a call no one wanted to make. The D17 engine, once meant to carry on the Civic tradition, became a cautionary tale. For every 6th-generation owner still driving to work on the original engine, there were dozens staring down a repair bill and wondering where Honda went wrong. But the real pain was not just mechanical, it was financial. And for many, the next chapter would hit even harder. Repair shops started keeping a tally. Owners of 7th-generation Civics walked in with cars barely out of warranty and left with bills that stung $2,300 on average for a transmission rebuild, according to surveys from independent shops. More than half of these failures struck before 90,000 miles. 1 in 5 did not even make it to 70,000. A woman in Alameda County brought her 2002 Civic in at 68,000 miles. She told the court that she never missed a service. She got a check for $500 from the class action settlement, but the car was still parked, undrivable, waiting for a transmission no one wanted to pay for twice. Honda's lawyers denied any defect, but the company still paid out $12 million to settle claims in California alone. Mechanics called it a betrayal. The D17 engine and its fragile gearbox became a punchline. One shop owner grumbled that he would rather rebuild a Chrysler. The pain was not just emotional. For every sixth-generation owner bragging about a 300,000-mile badge, there were dozens who watched the seventh generation die before its time. And still, the worst was yet to come. Direct injection sounded like progress. The injector fires straight into the combustion chamber, chasing every last bit of power, and the fuel economy the EPA wants to measure. But there is a price. Without fuel washing over the intake valves, carbon starts to coat them, slowly at first, then thick enough to choke airflow. Mechanics call it the Walnut Blast Special, a service that did not exist in the Civic's golden years. Oil dilution crept in too. Cold starts and short trips let raw fuel slip past the piston rings, thinning the oil and raising the dipstick. Honda issued software patches and warranty extensions, but the problem never really left. Every owner now faces hidden costs, shorter oil change intervals, intake cleanings, and a new kind of vigilance. The sixth generation never needed any of this. That is why the old cars keep getting rarer and why the market keeps chasing them. If you are hunting for a Civic that lasts, the answer is clear. The sixth generation, 1996 to 2000, sits at the top. Mechanics keep these for a reason. Port-injected D16Y8 and B16A2 engines, double wishbone suspension, and parts that still show up on shelves. Next best is the 8th generation, 2006 to 2011, with its R18 and K20 engines. No oil dilution, no carbon nightmares. Anything newer? Budget for $400 to $800 every few years for walnut blast valve cleanings, and do not skip oil changes. Used car buyers know 6th generation Civics are not just cars, they are the ones you keep. The 6th generation Civic stands alone, simple, port-injected, and built to last. Every redesign chased numbers, not trust. Mechanics know it, owners feel it. Some legends don't need a comeback, they never left.